Margaret drives past a hospital, but decides that's the last possible place on Earth she wants to be, well aware that dozens of robe-wearing dead shamble along those sterile hallways, and instead she finds something else, much more interesting. Looks nice though. Oh, a caravan. Now that is an intriguing proposal. Very intriguing proposal. Oh, it's very cozy in here. Lovely colour as well. Seems to be in very good condition. A caravan could be an excellent upgrade for Vincent, but she doesn't want to leave her beloved motorcycle behind quite yet. She gets out her map. I'm going to pause the game here. So I'm going to leave a mark here that says caravan. Excellent condition. Giant spiffos? Whatever the hell this place is. Wow, what's this? Motel. She's a pretty car, isn't she? That Ranger car. Margaret rummages through the cars in the lot and then sneaks into the motel to fill her water bottle. She doesn't really have the patience to deal with any zombies right now, so she just takes her time quietly. Then it's off to another gas station and a nearby bait shop. Fishing tackle could be useful, and there's just a fishing rod here, so we don't even have to make our own. With fishing stuff in tow, Margaret finds a delightful spot by a nearby lake to set up for a couple of days. Oh, lovely. This is the perfect spot to set up. Look at it. Nice little cabins. There's even a bed in here, Margaret. Oh, Jesus. Oh, you idiot. It's okay. Very panicked, so just stand in the cupboard and have a cigarette, Margaret. Breathe in those fumes. Breathe them in, Margaret. Breathe them in. Okay, you ready? Okay, let's check out some of these other cabins then. After Margaret has done making animal noises to herself, she investigates a few of the other cabins and kills some more of the woodland stragglers nearby to make the area a little safer. Feeling a bit more secure with a circle of corpses around her, she heads back to her little cabin, this temporary island of peace. Put the doll on the bed, Margaret. Okay, she's tired, she's feeling a bit soggy, so I think this is perfect. Whoa, there's no one in here. You just cleared it, Margaret. Very dark, very peaceful. No one can get you in here, Margaret. No one. Alright, it's pretty early, but she's very tired, so. How you doing, Vincent? Enjoying the fresh air? On day number 10, Margaret decides that she should clear out a few more zombies before settling down to peacefully fish for the day, so she wanders through a few more cabins. Things start to go a little poorly, as you'll soon see. Hey there. I reckon that was his car. It looks like a guy who might drive a car like this. Whoa. It's died. It's in good nick too. Under Cougar. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get in this car. Well, there's one. And some more. And some more. Okay, so they are out there. Whoa. Hope I didn't bite off more than I can chew here. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Margaret has indeed bitten off more than she can chew. No one gave her the ultimate life lesson of never to use the glorious honker unless you are sure that it is 100% safe and proper to do so. She performs some tactical evasive procedures, runs away in the trees, and eventually manages to thin the horde out one by one by leading them through the tree line. Okay, things were a little manic there. Just gonna sit, take some beta blockers, pop some pills, Margaret, have a cigarette as well. Okay, calm down. Stare at the lake, stare at the gorgeous lake. Oh man, still a lot of them, eh? Wasn't as safe out here as you thought it was it, Margaret? Man, it's busy in these woods, isn't it? Eventually, the bloodshed is complete. She lights a fire and warms her slightly numb fingers from where she's been grasping the crowbar. She prepares some food and puts it on the fire, then sits on one of the plastic chairs and reads a few magazines and books. After eating, she wants to try and find some little bugs to use as bait, but finds nothing in the woods. Baitless, but with a decent rod, she stands on the end of the jetty and goes fishing. It's ultimately peaceful, and she is constantly reminded of the old world and her trips with Leslie. Did we catch any fish? We did. We caught a medium crappie. Amazing. Slice it up on the back of Vincent, rub the fish into his leather. So now we've got some fish fillet. Fish fillet. With the first fish caught, she reads more books by the light of the fire as the sun goes down, and then prepares for bed. Okay, lie down with your doll. Get some sleep, Margaret. Okay, we're going to turn these fish into something scrumptious, and Margaret is going to enjoy some of her first fresh food in some time. Right, what have we got in here then? Fish stir-fry with soy sauce. No vegetables to go in it, just fish. But that should be okay. After eating fish stir-fry for dinner, Margaret sits and reads for the entire day. She's got a lot to learn about mechanics and electricity, plus fishing, cooking and more, and this place is peaceful enough for her to do so without a zombie breathing down her neck. The day passes in a quiet blur. Let's rip apart all these digital watches to try and level up our electricity skill first thing in the morning. Throw all the electronics on the floor. Have a look outside on this glorious sunny morning. On day 13, Margaret catches herself some breakfast and prepares it. But it's just a massive plate of fish, and it actually makes her kind of sad. She tries to jazz it up a bit with an extra ingredient. Fish and peanut butter. Margaret, what a special concoction you've made. Eat that 6 fillets of fish. After eating, she sits in her plastic chair and reads for the entire day. Tailoring, fishing, cooking, carpentry, mechanics. She will be an expert at them all before the zombies inevitably eat her intestines. She heads to bed, but it's windy outside and every scratching leaf or creaking tree sounds like an intruder, dead or alive. Terror. It's okay. Smoke an emergency cigarette. Everything's going to be okay if you smoke an emergency cigarette, Margaret. Again, she fishes until she has 10 kilograms of fish, which is too much fish. She puts the fillets into the dead fridge, even though it smells like rotten milk a little bit. It won't keep for long in this hot Kentucky summer, but it's better than nothing. The rest of the day is more of the same. Fishes in the morning, reads in the daytime, smokes a cigarette on the jetty, and suffers from more terrors in the night. She sits in the dark by torchlight and waits for her breathing to calm down, before finally falling asleep again. Just lie in the little cabin, listen to the rain. Enjoy your last little day of peace and quiet, Margaret, before we hit the road again. It's having a real bad time, a couple of panic attacks. It's okay, Margaret, there's no one out there. It's just the sound of the wind, the rain. You heard the lady. It's time to move out. The island of peace, fish and books by the lakeside has come to an end. The journey must go on. A lovely couple of days of peace come to an end. Margaret must beat ceaselessly against the apocalypse like a forgetful fish in a fish tank. Perfect, peaceful few days by the lake. It's this place. It doesn't take Margaret long before she finds her next target. Another gas station. Looks like there might be a garage nearby too. Definitely worth checking out. Oh, that's quite a lot of police zombies there. Okay, before we deal with that, we're just going to have a cigarette in this heavy rain, Margaret. Come on. As you can see, Margaret has become rather adept with her crowbar, and she remains somewhat calm as the police zombies swarm around her. Listen to their little chipmunk noises. Cute, little, bloodthirsty chipmunks dressed as police officers. Yes, Margaret. Okay. Whew, no more foolish behaviour, okay, Margaret? We go again. Oh, there's an ATV out there. Oh, that could be an interesting upgrade for Vincent. Let's go check it out. Lightweight Viper hood. She drives to the next lot over. The rain is coming thick and fast. It's going to be a mighty summer storm. To hide from the rain, she clears the lot. Horrible summer storm today, Margaret. Seek shelter inside. Then ducks into the Postal Services building. She clears out the warehouse, but there isn't much to find on the boxes and shelves. Horrible. Upstairs, she finds a sofa that provides a comfy spot out of the rain, so she collects some clothes from dead zombies to do some tailoring. She repairs her clothes and adds some padding, then reads a book. Margaret sleeps on the sofa with the sound of the storm raging outside. Still raining. Nowhere near as heavy as it was last night, though. Hello. Looks like a little survivor one. Got no gas. In otherwise, pretty good nick though. Spent the night in the postal office. Terrible storm. ATV here. Margaret gets her bearings. There is so much to see and do in Kentucky, and she is just getting started. Before leaving the post office, she undresses all the zombies in the rain. Oh, how lovely, Margaret. Then heads on her way. She drives until she finds a small town. There aren't too many zombies, so she pulls into a house on the outskirts. The rain is still coming thick and heavy, and she wants to learn more tailoring so she can finally repair Vincent's saggy saddlebags. She spends some time patching up and repairing her clothes in the house, and eventually levels up her tailoring. Nice. She's just eating little fingers worth of peanut butter. I should also mention here that Margaret Stump is currently on the little bit of the plump side, so she's on a finger-only diet of peanut butter until she loses some weight. She heads outside to repair Vincent's bags, but he has other plans. Wait. No, there it is. Are you rolling away, Vincent? Are you trying to escape? I think he is. Stay still. Vincent? Where are you going? The wheels are not in the best condition. Margaret repairs the bags, but can't do much about the wheels without some fix-a-flat or better mechanic skills, so she heads just a short distance down the road. There are zombies, and the storm is picking up again, so she bunkers down in a house. She has a bath and listens to the rain outside. It's almost like the old days. What the? How did you get in here? After that fright downstairs, she puts an armchair to block the staircase in the hopes no zombie can clamber over while she sleeps. The rain stopped. Good morning, Vincent. It's time to rock and roll again. She pries open some garages. Absolutely nothing inside. She's gonna stop bothering soon, I promise. And then drives through the dead town. It's as busy as hell. Slightly panicked, she just drives right on through until she reaches the trees on the other side, like a scene out of The Truman Show. The Truman Show released in 1998, 4 years after the zombie apocalypse, so it never happened. Margaret is going mad. Weird visions of the future. Jim Carrey as a zombie in his LA mansion. She turns back on herself, checks out some barns. No propane here, just hay. So she drives all the way back out of town. Although there is probably plenty of loot to be had, she needs propane more than anything, so away she goes. At a gas station, she stops in the car park and randomly checks the boot of a car. Inside is some fix-a-flat, which is amazing, because she can repair one of Vincent's wheels now. Then she drives fast through the forest. The wind whips around her, the air smells fresh and fruity and summery. It's pretty gorgeous, she thinks. Eventually she comes across some ominous tower blocks on the edge of another town. Yeah, those buildings are giving me the heebie-jeebies, the apartment blocks. I think not. Don't worry, we're not going in there. Not in a million years, Margaret. You can hear, it's like a tower of death. Margaret absolutely refuses to step foot in the Tower of Doom, and instead finds a smaller house to rest in for the evening. I think Vincent should be okay out there. Yeah, should be fine. I think we can spend the night here. Treat yourself to a beer, Margaret. You've earned it. You've earned it. In the morning, she visits the church. Says a small prayer under her breath, cursing the zombie gods. Then investigates a food warehouse. Vincent literally can't carry anything else. Then she finds a largely empty firehouse, and just when she does find a decent-looking warehouse that might have propane, the world has other plans for Margaret Stump. Oh boy, that's a lot of fucking zombies. Oh, good job, Vincent. Don't really want to mess with that. Even though there could be propane in there, it looked pretty scary. Thankfully, just down the road is another set of large warehouses. Unfortunately, she finds a sad group of survivor zombies, cut down in their prime. They obviously all died at the same time. Turned together, maybe. And Margaret puts them out of their misery, one by one. It leaves her feeling a little torn up inside as she loots their bodies and takes all their delicious loot. Oh, a machete. One of my favourite weapons. Oh god. Sorry, Holly. Pretty sad, that. Oh god, she's got no arms. Her arms have been eaten off. Oh my god, there's so many of them. It's a whole group. She's been hungry for a couple of days now because she's put on a little bit of weight alive inside. Yeah, you shouldn't have put a big sign on the door. The zombies knew exactly that you were all in there alive, and they came for their lunch. Just have a couple of fingers of peanut butter, Margaret. Her weight is still going down, so that's good. Let's go put up the tent inside. She puts up a tent in the dead survivor's old base and reads a book on a chair before falling asleep. She thinks she can hear the voices of the survivors whispering around the tent. They're floating dead heads. But there's nothing. There's no one there. Not even a little zombie mouse. In the morning, she heads out again, losing weight slowly with sticky peanut butter fingers, and finds another warehouse. Will this be the place? The home of the propane? The answer is propane torch. Nice! 2 propane torches, that's so good. Hooray! With 2 propane torches ready to light the world on fire, Margaret makes plans for the next adventure. Hey look, that's where we started. We've almost done a circle. So much to explore. I say we head back to here. Looks like there's lots of stuff nearby. Industrial, propane tank, industrial. While she's looking at the map, she hears a faint rumbling in the distance. What the hell is that? Oh. Jets. A plane. There's a plane, Margaret. You haven't seen a plane in a long time. I'm a little bit scared. I'm going to get in the car. It's going to pull a lot of the zombies that way. Wow, what a sound. She thought she'd never see a plane ever again. How bizarre. With the sounds of the fighter jets trailing, Margaret sets off the way she already came, back to those dense warehouses, somewhere safe to work on gorgeous little Vincent, make him shine and purr again. It's not without its problems on the road, of course. Oops! But eventually, she makes it there in good time, down country roads and through towns. Okay, let's take out the stragglers. Have a little snack of some cereal because she is starving. But she is on a diet. Margaret gets set up with Vincent inside the warehouse in this handy little garage. Once again, the motorbike isn't behaving. She explores some of the nearby area, clearing out zombies as she goes, then heads up to bed. There we go, Freddy. You can just sit outside and keep watch for me, okay? She wakes up starving on a foggy morning. There are a few ghouls to clear out in the fog. She finds some hidden gold in a warehouse and wonders what she could buy with it if the world was still functioning. A little further, she listens to the moans of the zombies in the woods, then makes her way into the temporary camp. The place is littered with fridges and cars and tents, but there are no survivors here. After clearing out the shamblers around the old camp, she sits on the floor and ponders whether this might be a decent place to set up shop for a couple of days. She can dismantle all the old fridges, tinker with the cars, and finally give Vincent a bit of TLC. She goes and grabs her buddy from the warehouse. It's a perfect spot. Margaret begins work right away, even though the sun is setting. The artificial light is still working here for some reason, perhaps some far-off emergency generator, and she feels safe behind the fences. With the materials she salvaged from the fridges and ovens, she makes the first repairs to Vincent. She finds one working car in the lot and uses it to block the entrance, then falls asleep under the warm glow of the flashlights. She spends most of day 20 ripping things apart in the lot, collecting sheets, scrap metal and electronics. Salvaging is broken up with periodic panic attacks. Margaret's having a bad day today. Everything's alright, there's no one here. Grab another smoke, you hard-working beauty, Margaret. She keeps working on her mechanic skill, and here's a little overview of Margaret's various skills. Margs works all day and gets Vincent up to a handsome 60% healthiness, but her food supplies are starting to run low. Sort of safe behind this fence, doesn't it, Margaret? But we need to venture out there again. You're running out of food. She can't stay here forever, and she reads before bed. Then hits the meat pocket. Meat pocket.